Time to jump into the podcast. Hello and welcome to Green Dudes. Oh fuck my life. That's not how you fucking start the fucking podcast.
No, no,
That's the
you need to reference the 14th worst song off of Dookie in order to do it.
yeah. Here, let's try that again. And for you live streamers, for you video watchers, that's a little Easter egg for you, a
Is
little
is
nugget.
any is anyone here?
Well, no, but on but
You
they can
just
watch it in the
you
future.
just you just say that knowing no one's here.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying they can watch the live stream. They can still watch it after it's broadcast.
What?
Okay.
Isn't
Anyways,
then what's the point of uploading this shit to YouTube and having the
you sound very confused right now. I'm
I
saying
I am yeah, I am.
that they can watch it on YouTube in the future is what I'm saying.
Oh, you just upload the whole stream. You
Yes.
don't you don't like start from when we start podcasting. You don't edit out the first however many.
No, 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 no. It's the same. It's just the whole
Oh,
thing, the whole shebang.
oh, oh, oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh, oh.
All
Wow,
right.
that's dumb.
Oh, okay. Hello and welcome to Paradise. You're listening to Green Dudes, the only Green Day podcast that matters. You are here with your host Connor Mack and my my cranky ass podcast host, Mr. Connor Kelly. That's all you're getting today. How's it
Wow,
going,
yeah.
Connor?
Nothing, no dude wife for life.
Nope. Of course, he's my dude wife for life, my BFFFFFL, but my cantankerous old grouch
Yeah.
co-host, Mr. Connor
Yep.
Kelly. How's it going?
Good one. That's a song I can't wait to talk about. That's
I
gonna
know
be
that's a great song.
yeah. I'm all right, dude. I'm all right. I'm a little surprised you already forgot to add, business partners, co-investors to the
Yeah,
Oakland Ballers. But I guess I ruffled your feathers a bit, and you were like, let's just skip the, we're gonna skip all the titles. We're gonna get straight into it. That's fine. There's always next time.
yeah. No, I mean, I think I think today it's a good idea to streamline it a little bit.
Yeah,
Um, uh, yeah. I mean, I think it's if for variety's sake, even. I think
yeah,
it's fun to change it up once in a while.
yeah. No, it is. It is. You want to keep the listeners on their toes. They shouldn't know what to expect
Yeah.
from us. Um, so there you have it. We're not even going to talk about Green Day today. We're going to talk about My Chemical Romance. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we actually are. That's the big surprise, and Connor is going to be the host. So, Connor, take it away. You have the floor.
All right. Well, we all know that Danger Days is the best album. Let's start there.
Yeah,
We're
of
just
course,
we're
of
just gonna
course, everyone.
we all know. I know that. You know that.
Yeah,
Everyone listening knows that. But you know what I think is just way too often overlooked is the Mad Gear and Missile Kit EP. It
so
just
true.
does not get the love, the recognition that it really deserves.
Yeah, yeah,
So I don't know. I don't want to make it. I just wanna. You know what I'm saying.
enough said.
And
Enough said.
that's the end of that bit. We're done now. So you can
Wow,
you
that
can go
was
back.
that was good, Connor. So true. I couldn't agree more with everything you said.
Thank you.
Um. Anyways, let's start over. Hello and welcome to Paradise. This is Green Dudes, the only Green Day podcast that matters. You're here with me, your host, Connor Mack. And of course, as always, I'm with my BFFFFFFFL, Green Day comrade in arms, dude wife for life, and of course, my business partner, Mr. Connor Kelly.
Hey,
Connor,
hey.
how the heck are you doing today?
I feel like I've been here before. You know,
Yeah. It feels like we were just doing this, huh?
I'm speechless and redundant right now. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Another great song. Isn't that funny? In the, we referenced two Nimrod songs in the span of 5 minutes.
yeah, yeah, and we could keep going. You know.
We could don't. I mean, I don't know, Connor. I say good riddance to that bit.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Any and don't. I mean. Oh wait. I think Kashinka just walked by.
Oh my
What?
god. What the fuck?
What?
Can it get any dumber? The answer is yes, it can. Yes, it can.
I know. Next, you're gonna be thinking I've got a prosthetic head or something. You know.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
All
Oh
right.
my god.
Okay. No, Connor, but for real, we're back. I know. The vibe so far has been a little bit contentious. I think we gotta nip this in the bud. Let's kind of just get everything out, Connor. How are you feeling? Let's be vulnerable, real here. How are you actually doing?
The vibe has been contentious.
It's been a little contentious.
So like our rapport, you know,
Yes.
our back and forth. How's
Yeah.
well, it's it's nothing to do with you. Let me put it to you that way. I love you, buddy. And I guess sometimes I think we just spend a lot of time rambling about stupid bullshit, and I'm just left kind of scratching my head, wondering, do people want to hear us ramble about stupid bullshit, or do they want to hear us stupidly ramble about Green Day bullshit? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a very good question. For me personally, I'm not too concerned with the answer to that. But my idea though is for every podcast we do for this for Green Dudes and for Chapter Chumps, our other show, what if we just keep it to an hour? We get in an hour, maybe an hour, 10 minutes. That's it. We're done.
Um, I don't know if we would be able to meet that mark. That feels ambitious,
Well,
but
no, I mean it doesn't matter if we haven't said everything we need to say. Oh well, show's over.
yeah. So just like the cane coming out from the red curtain to
Yeah,
yank you off stage,
exactly.
right?
I'll put on some of that music that they play during the Oscar award speeches to tell people to get off
Yeah.
the stage. You know.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I have ideas of my own that I'm going to be sharing on Chapter Jumps, our other podcast, where I'm kind of like the host, the master and
He
commander of,
he's well, I wouldn't say that. I would say the
I
host. Yes.
I I have a bit more sway, I think my vote kind of counts for more,
I yeah,
I have
I
some
would
thoughts on
agree
that.
because he has because on this show your vote doesn't count for shit.
No, yeah,
It's
no,
just like
it's and it's not even 50-50.
yeah,
It's pretty much like 99 to 1. Hey, look at
nine
that.
nine 9, 2, 1. Okay,
Two
there we go.
world.
There we
Yeah!
go. There we go. The best song from
Don't say
the
it. Don't say it
2010s, from all the
because
2020 from the 2010s.
all right,
Okay.
now
Anyways,
now you're kind of pissing me off. Now the vibe is about to get contentious.
now it's really contentious.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Anyways, we've been talking for like 9 minutes. This is stupid as hell.
That's what I'm
Um.
saying. Yes. That's exactly my point for the
But no,
record. That's
sometimes the
my
banter
point.
sometimes is good and fun, but today it's just bad.
Yeah, well, get on it because it feels like I'm doing
Um.
a lot of the legwork right now.
Anyways, so Connor, we're recording on a Monday here. Sometimes we record on Sundays to have the episode out on Monday. Yesterday I couldn't record because Connor,
Yeah.
I went to see a musical Any guesses to what the musical was?
A musical. You literally mean like a musical, right? Like
A musical.
my guess is you went to go see Wicked.
I went to go see Wicked.
Yeah, you went to go see Wicked.
Wicked the musical, and that of course is about Wicked Witch and the good fairy, her sister,
Yeah, Glinda.
Glinda the good witch. Um, and that was recently turned into a movie.
It was. Wow. And it's crazy because you were just before saying like, man, the banter's been really bad, but you're doing a great job right now. So
Thanks, buddy. Thank
keep
you.
it going. Yeah. Anything else
So
you want to say about Wicked? Maybe the year it came out, or
you're
anything
the
about
one
like
who brought it. You're the
anything
one who
about, like
brought it
Idina
up.
Menzel, or no, like if you have more
Um,
to say about Wicked, like let us know. That's all.
anyways, no, I didn't see Wicked. Any other guesses?
Oh, okay. It wasn't Wicked. Gotcha. Kinky Boots.
Oh, Kinky Boots. That's a musical as well.
Yeah.
All I know is that Brendan Urie starred in that for a little
Is
bit.
that right? Brendan Urie
Yeah,
was in Kinky Boots.
he was. But no, it
Okay.
was not Kinky Boots.
Okay. The Book of Mormon.
The Book of Mormon. Is that a musical?
It is a musical.
It is
Yep.
okay, and it was written by the guys from South Park.
That's right. Yeah. Trey
Yeah,
Parker and Matt Stone.
that's all I know about that.
Yeah.
No, it was not the Book of Mormon. Connor, there's a reason I'd be bringing up a musical on a Green Day podcast.
Oh, oh.
A little hint for you.
Well, Connor, come on. Are you really about to tell me that you went to go see American Idiot the musical?
I am. I actually I went to see American Idiot the musical yesterday at Edgerton Center for the Performing Arts in Fairfield, Connecticut. It
Nice.
was a yeah, it was a production done by Sacred Heart University um, here in Connecticut, and it was a lot of fun. I the so it was just like a bunch of it was a college production. They did a really great job though. I think it was my fourth time seeing the musical. Um, yeah, so it was kind of a spur of the moment thing because my girlfriend and I were just taking a ride. I think it was like Friday or something. We saw a billboard for it. She was like, "Oh, American Idiot," and I was like, "What?
Yeah. Yep.
What?
Yep. Yep. That's all you need to
What?
hear.
Wait, say that again."
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so we got tickets for the matinee performance, and yeah, I saw it. It was fantastic. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Connor, you have not seen it ever, right?
No, no, I've kind of notoriously never seen it. So
Yeah.
that'll be really cool when we eventually get to that. But yeah, and it sounds like this was your first time seeing it off Broadway. Is that right?
No, I saw it once in Hartford. That was off Broadway, obviously.
Gotcha. And that was like another local sort of performance. Like,
I think that was a touring troupe that was going around the
okay,
country.
gotcha. Because Connor, I'll be honest, I didn't even really realize that American Idiot was performed like a musical. Like when people are trying to figure out what musical they're going to perform and they're like, "Oh, should we do Death of a Salesman or whatever the fuck?"
Yeah,
You know?
which is your favorite?
And you're telling me that you're telling me that people just sometimes choose American Idiot, the musical?
Yeah, well, it's a highly successful Broadway musical that's a two-time Tony winner. So I mean, yeah, all around the country there are productions of it still to this day, which is pretty damn cool.
Wow. Yeah, I'm you know what? Maybe when we when we go see it, maybe we could try to go see it live.
I was gonna say,
When
yeah,
I eventually do see it, huh?
that's what I was gonna that was my thought. When we cover it, uh I mean, maybe we can try to time it for like after we talk about American Idiot in that interim between American Idiot and 21st Century Breakdown, or just around that time. We could maybe we can see if we can see it live because
Yeah.
because it's really great. It's I mean it's uh I don't know. It is super corny, you know, but in a good way. And I mean, I can't. It's just it it works for me. It really works for me, and I mean, it's just like it's funny because it's like a bunch of drama kids wearing ripped band T-shirts and stuff, and doing dances and
Yeah.
singing. But it's fun as hell. And the cool part about it is there's a live band that plays uh like that. It's not like pre-recorded or it's I think that's like in the contract to get the rights to do the plays. There needs to be a live band
Oh, that is cool.
that
Yeah.
plays the soundtrack. So yeah, they were all awesome. Um, yeah, I mean, and I forgot too how interspersed because it's not just the American Idiot track list from American Idiot to what's her name.
Oh,
It,
Connor, don't spoil it for me. I've never seen it.
well, this is old news, but there are some other tracks interspersed. There's some B-sides in there. There's some 21st Century Breakdown tracks that are interspersed. Um, and yeah, it was really well done. Yeah, that was super exciting, a fun spur of the moment thing
Nice.
to
So you went with your girlfriend.
yes, yeah, that was
And
her first time seeing it too.
did she enjoy it?
Yeah, she had a blast. Yeah, yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, she
Having a blast. Nice.
having
Nice.
a blast. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which was not one of the songs that uh they interspersed.
Oh, no, I see. Okay. Yeah, very cool. Connor, have you seen the other I don't know, the other semi-relevant recent thing that American Idiot the song has been a part of and has kind of been circulating in very stupid online circles that I happen to frequent?
Mate, I don't know if
This is it's a
I
really dumb way to like lead into what I'm about to say, the way that I
I really don't know if I know what you're gonna say.
Well, let's see, Connor. Have you heard of the Devil May Cry anime that just came out on Netflix? Do you know what that is?
Oh, I think I have heard about this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there is a scene in it that the song American Idiot plays. And I haven't watched the anime at all, even though let me tell you, I'm an OG. I played the Devil May Cry games when they were coming out, so I
So
know a thing
it
or
was
two.
originally a video game. Now it's a
Yeah.
an anime.
Yes, yeah. I played Devil May Cry back in my youth, and good stuff. Great games. Did not have Green Day in the track list originally, but here, they made this new anime, and a lot of people are shitting on it and saying it's bad, and it does look bad. Kind of looks like dog shit. But people are also kind of talking about this scene that features American Idiot, and like it's really funny for me to be like scrolling through Twitter and it's like why are these two things in conversation with each other? You know what I mean? Like why is it that this is like having a spike in the online discourse right now? And anyways, I watched the scene that it's a part of, and it is I don't know. It's just kind of funny that these worlds have collided in the way that they have. And hey, American Idiot is featured on the Netflix Devil May Cry anime. What do you know?
So what is the context of the scene? What what is and what are people talking about? Like, are they talking about the song
They're
in
not.
the context? No.
No, not necessarily. The reason that they're talking about it, So the scene, okay, so this is from what I understand, given what I've seen people say, and like the just under 2 minutes I watched in which the song is featured. Um, the humans on Earth have opened a portal to hell, and the president of the United States of America is like making an announcement to the American people that hell is real, and that they that they like have opened up a portal, you know, and that they're essentially like declaring war, I think, on the demons. And yet there's kind of like this spin where it's like, oh, the demons aren't actually bad. Like the demons are themselves demonized by like the American government. And so like the scene is like there's these like war jets that are firing this barrage of missiles through the portal, and then they're exploding in hell. But like it's kind of drawing on these illusions of like these flimsy claims of like weapons of mass destruction, essentially, or you know where
I've heard that before.
yeah, well, right. And so the idea is effectively that I think the demons in the show, they're trying to like uh use it as kind of an allegory of you know, I think like really any people that is like destabilized by the American government through like a spun narrative, you know. And so I think the idea further than that is that like to apply the song American Idiot to the scene is to try to drive home this further commentary of essentially like the ways in which the American government weaponizes the media in order to get the populace on board to approve of them going into another country, in this case the underworld, in order to like destroy the people and acquire like these natural resources. Does that make sense? Because it sounded like as I was saying it I was going to have a stroke. Does that make sense?
No, it does. No, no. It does. Yeah, everything you said makes sense. I mean, it sounds very silly.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's
But it
I
did make
think I think
sense.
it's dumb as fuck. Yeah, but
I mean, is that what happens in the game?
no, not at all. Never. No, I mean I played 1 through 4. I don't know what happens in 5 because 5 came out way later. But
And a bigger question is the president in the show, is it like a Trump guy?
I think sort of.
Yeah.
They wear a cowboy hat, so they're like very. I know that Trump does not wear cowboy hats, but like the
Yeah.
idea is like they're like cartoonishly like over
Okay.
exaggerated American sort of deal. I think.
Maybe kind of a George Bush Trump
Yeah,
combination.
yeah, a bit of that. I think so.
Well, that's, I mean, you know, it's a shame that the show is being panned because it's cool that Green Day is featured in there. The the kind of funny thing on my end, that has been going on with this whole Devil May Cry series, you know, because obviously I'm not a fan of that franchise. I didn't even really know anything about it until just this week.
Yeah.
Um, but they like teased out the soundtrack on social media,
Hmm.
and like before the show dropped, and like they put out the track list, but for Green Day, they like redacted the song title.
Yeah.
So Green Day fans, of course, as we do, were speculating, and they're like, "Oh my god, is Green Day gonna just drop a new song for the
Yeah.
Devil May
Right.
Cry soundtrack?
Yeah.
Like,
Why?
is it
Right. Why is Green Day redacting their song?
yeah?"
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was confusing, and people were kind of theorizing and like, oh, what, like, is it a B side? You know, are we gonna hear something new? But then no, of course, it was just American Idiot, which I don't know why the social media team decided to hide that. Maybe for a plot reason. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
They didn't want. I don't know, but
Yeah.
there was some crossed wires there, and some. Oh, you know, of course, the Green Day fandom is always going to
Speculate
overanalyze.
wildly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, speculate wildly. Yeah. exactly.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I
does
don't know.
make me wonder, like, what is the I guess like the process of like um I don't know, like licensing out Green Day music, or and it's like because it doesn't feel like something that Billy, Mike, and Trey would personally be involved in. Like I can't, but at the same time, it's like they must have like some level of awareness, right? That their songs. So it's like I can't imagine that it's 0%. I can't imagine that they just have like literally no clue, because you would think they would want to know like what properties their music is attached to. And yet at the
Yeah,
same time, I also cannot imagine that it's like 100% and Billy, Mike, and Trey are being like sent out the script for Devil May Cry and they go like, yeah, this is the one, this is the one. So it's like,
I
what is the
know.
fucking process for that?
No, that's a good question. I have to imagine that they have like a trusted advisor or like somebody on their team that they trust their judgment to um authorize those things. Because I'm sure they get requests, I'm sure, like all the time
Mm,
for to be featured in different projects. So I mean, or maybe it might just be like part of the day is, oh yeah, just sign off on these things, and they just, oh, that looks cool, I'll do that. I
yeah.
Devil May Cry, that sounds like a cool property.
Yeah.
We'll yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, I'd like to know. That's one of the questions I'd want to add to the list. We also said we were going to ask Mike about what, like his broken elbows or some shit, or
Yeah, broken elbows, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's like that, and like, did you personally sign off on American Idiot for Devil May Cry? That's what I want to know right now.
Yeah, yeah. We can ask. I mean, we can ask Billy at the next board meeting
At
for
the next
the
board meeting, exactly. Yep.
open ballers. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Good point.
Um. So rest assured, we will get those questions, and we can even ask Billy about Mike's elbows.
He might know.
He might know. Yeah. Um. Connor. Related to Mike's elbows is another Mike incident, a famous incident, Connor, where Mike got hurt. This time, I think he got some teeth knocked out by a
Hmm.
security guard, famously at Woodstock in 1994. Um, which happens to be what we're going to be talking about a little bit today. Uh, this is, this is a very pivotal moment in Green Day's career that I have wanted to discuss for a while. I think it's just I think it needs to be talked about on some level,
Yeah. We need to address
because
it.
we need to address it, because this is really Green Day's first foray into like the like the media landscape on a major scale. Like for a lot of people, this is the first time they saw these three punks doing their thing on stage, and it ended up being quite a whirlwind, and they left a mark, and got people talking. So yeah, I think we can get into it a little bit now. Before we kind of dive in here, Connor, I just wanted your, thoughts, because as a Green Day fan, like especially getting into the band in 2005 or 2004,
Yeah.
um, we have been seeing clips from Woodstock 1994 for the entirety of our relationship with Green Day.
Yeah.
They like these are ingrained into our brains at this point. So I'd like to hear a little bit about your memories of discovering this performance, and uh everything that comes with it. Obviously, Woodstock 94. Some people even call it Mudstock
Yeah.
94, for obvious reasons that we will get into. But just some quick thoughts, from if you can pull from young baby Connor.
Yeah, I can actually, and it's kind of funny to hear you lay it all out there because it's like, this was uh this show had happened 10 years prior to us getting into Green Day in 2004. And I think back then, considering we weren't much older than that, that would have felt like a long time. But like sitting now, as a man of a certain age, as I do, and I reflect back on all my years of music listening and Green Day fandom, it's kind of funny to consider actually just how close that event really was, like relatively. It's sort of wild, I think, in a way, to consider, like, uh here they are, just uh you know taking advantage of the remarkable success of Dookie, and here they are, playing Woodstock, kind of a legendary coming together of artists. um and yeah, a decade after that, they'd be dropping the soundtrack to the Devil May Cry Netflix anime. It kind of blows your mind, to lay it all out there. But no, you are right that, like, this show, it looms really large, and yeah, like when you first are getting into Green Day, and especially when we did, um, I think this was framed as like a really punk rock moment for them, and like, as we were, looking up YouTube videos and performances, and especially all the time now that there were all these, like, shows where, like, people would pretty much sit down and talk about Green Day. You might have like little documentaries or specials or whatever. They would always talk about the Woodstock performance, because it was sort of framed as like this. I think a kind of, like, if not a turning point, then it's almost like uh an announcement to, like, the rest of the world, like, Green Day's, like, arrived, and they come out swinging. It's like they establish themselves in this chaos, and they kind of make a name for themselves. And again, yeah, I think that the reason it was kind of pushed so hard, and why it's so easy to find, is because, like, I think it's part of that story that they want you to hear. Like, this was the day that Green Day came in and they fucked shit up at Woodstock. And
Yeah.
and that's the way that I think it was kind of delivered to us. Looking back at it now, I'm not so sure that is exactly what's happening here, and we'll be talking more about that. But I think in terms of, like, the Green Day story, and like finding that as kids, like, this this was something to sort of be like, yes, sort of like an in your face fuck you sort of moment for them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think you're absolutely right. It's been kind of canonized in their mythology. It's that they it's yeah, like it's grown to be big, much bigger. The, in the telling of the tale than it was in reality. But I mean, the crazy thing too is that it's yeah, like they are at this point, they are riding high off of Dookie, but they have not even reached the heights that they would reach yet. Like they like this is before Basket Case even came out as a single.
Yeah,
At this point, I guess they had only put out Longview and Welcome to Paradise, which were still very popular. Especially Longview is a very popular song single on alternative rock radio. But Basket Case was like that the mainstream crossover hit.
Hmm.
And so that this really is their first big statement on a national stage. Um, and I I also think that this is kind of, in a lot of ways, this gives them their reputation of being kind of uh silly, but also like kind of edgy and you know, slacker punk rockers with attitude. Like this gives them the whole. This is like such a great gift to their publicists
Yeah,
in a way,
totally. Yeah.
you know. Where it's like, okay, this is the narrative, this is the story, this is who these guys are, this is how we market them. And so I mean, it's interesting to think about like what the Green Day story would have been without this. You know, I think this is it's a turning point. It's pivotal. I think that that everything was there though, already. I don't know actually how much would be different if it uh, didn't occur, but I think this is a very it's like it's a pressure point in Green Day's history. But first off, let's kind of go back a little bit. Um, d- how much do you know about Woodstock, Connor?
Um. Well, it was a music festival, you know, and
Yeah.
uh, and there was like a farmer or several
Yeah. Yeah.
farmers who I
Yeah.
think kind of worked to if not coordinate it, but like at least it was kind of like, hey, we have the lands, to host it. And I don't know, I think the idea is that it was part of like a larger anti-war kind of um thing,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know if it's like
Yeah.
specifically
Totally.
that, but I think a lot of times those things are lumped together. And a lot of great classic performances there, right? Like Jimi
Yeah.
Hendrix and
y- Yes.
like very very legendary, talking about like the story of or like the myth of rock and roll, like the
Yeah. Yeah.
first Woodstock is yeah, a legendary chapter. Yeah.
I mean, like for what Woodstock '94 is to Green Day, Woodstock '69 is to like just the greater story of rock and roll
Yeah,
history.
exactly. Exactly.
Um, yeah. So no, you're right. It's originally um uh, it was held August 15th to 18th 1969, billed as 3 days of peace and music. um and that is largely what it was. It's something that the baby boomers they can point to and say, hey,
Hmm.
we did that, and that was and then after that we just we gave up.
Yeah. But it's,
um
I mean, what a great thing to have done, good for
yeah,
them.
exactly, yeah, absolutely. And I last year I actually went to, I think I might have talked about this on the podcast. I went to Woodstock, I went to the site where there is a museum and
Yeah.
uh
You had mentioned that where it was is not actually Woodstock.
No, yeah, it's I think it was originally set to be in the town of Woodstock, but they weren't able to get permission, I guess, to put on the show there. So a farmer, a dairy farmer,
Yeah.
uh you were right, Max Yasgur, I guess is his name if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He said, "Hey, come on over to my farm in Bethel, New York, and you can put on the show here. I've got plenty of room." And he did, and the rest is history.
Yeah. And you rolled down that very hill.
I did. Oh yeah, I did mention
And
that.
you
Yes,
really and you fucked up your back.
I really fucking hurt myself.
That was so stupid,
I
but yeah,
really hurt myself.
that's funny.
I don't know why I thought I could do that at 30 years old. That was
Yeah,
dumb
no,
as hell.
it's I think that was like kind of your awakening to being 30. Was
Yeah,
rolling down the hill in
it
Bethel, New
was.
York for
Yeah,
Woodstock.
I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, and I've never recovered. No. No, I feel great now, except not. But yeah, that's kind of the precursor. That's the precursor to Woodstock 94. No, I mean, pretty much since then, like I feel like a lot of people or like rock and rollers or hippies or people in that kind of wheelhouse, I feel like they have been kind of trying to like relive that high ever
Yes.
since Woodstock, a lot of, and I mean just culturally, like I we there hasn't been a moment like that uh since, and I feel like people have been trying to kind of recreate it artificially for a long time. Uh and Woodstock 94 happens to be 25 years from the original event. um and so I mean it doesn't happen to be that's why
Yeah.
they did it. It's Woodstock 94. It was held to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the original Woodstock. um and it was billed as 2 more days of peace and music.
Yeah.
um and
But did we get that?
Well, yeah. So what ended up happening was very different, Connor. The two Woodstock 69 and 94, they are very different in realization and in reputation. But it's kind of funny because there's kind of a middle ground. Like Woodstock 94 is kind of the middle ground because there was also after 94 there was Woodstock 99.
Yes. Which
And
is the legendary fuck up. Yeah.
Yes, Woodstock 99 is kind of it's just a legendarily fucked up concert event where it ended up in riots being incited, and I think there were deaths. And yeah, just a very very bad event. And I mean it's kind of a just an encapsulation of like the evolution or the changes in society where like this event that was kind of built around peace and love just became like to use a modern term, like and shitified
Yeah.
by capitalist entities and corporations and stuff that are just exploiting the nostalgia.
Yes.
And so yeah, 94 kind of exists in a sweet spot where it's like um before everything kind of broke down, like we're kind of like you know c- c- we're still rocking with capitalism. Things are good for most people, you can kind of like just live and not think about it. You can
Hmm.
kind of just uh live your shitty American lifestyle and be a slacker punk and like just not even really think too hard about the world around you.
Right.
um and that's exactly where we were in 94. um
Yeah. Great
so
point.
yeah, and what happened with it was just mixture of the kind of temperaments and the weather kind of evolving into this rainy, muddy mess. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I do want to kind of go through the lineup here for Woodstock 94 because all I've heard is Green Day. I don't
Yeah. I
I
agree. I don't know who else who play because, like you're
yeah.
saying, like otherwise, at least to like, I don't want to say to popular culture at large, but at least to Green Day fans, I don't think Woodstock 94 really holds any other cultural significance other than
No.
the legendary Green Day performance. So yeah, it's not 69, it's not 99. So yeah, what the fuck was up at Woodstock 94, Connor?
Yeah, so there's quite a few performers here. A lot of people we that names I don't recognize, but I'll point out the ones that we would. Um, actually, on the let's see. So the first day, Friday, August 12th, we have fucking Cheryl Crow, Collective Soul, Violent Femmes,
Yep.
Aphex Twin,
Yeah.
uh, DJ Spooky. You ever heard of them?
You lost me.
It's called DJ Spooky. Um, let's see. Yeah, I mean, they're Joe Cocker on the second day, Blind Melon, Cypress Hill, Melissa Etheridge, Connor, Metallica,
Yeah.
Aerosmith,
Yeah, there
Nine
we
Inch
go.
Nails, Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Nice.
Like that's huge,
Yeah.
huge names on day two.
It,
We had
it's
the
it's just really funny to think of like Aphex Twin and Crosby, Stills and Nash just playing the same fest. It's like,
I know.
you throw DJ Spooky in there, it's like, wow, what what an
Yeah, I
eclectic
mean
mix.
that's DJ. I mean, whatever happened to that guy? I don't know.
I you know
I hope he's doing something
I
great these
I
days.
wish I yeah, I'll check him out.
Yeah. So let's see. I and on the like the notable events of of the day, it's all just like, oh, this guy took acid. Oh, this guy smoked a joint on camera. Oh,
Yeah,
this guy drank whiskey or poured whiskey on the crowd. Like it just kind of like I just kind of get the impression that like some of the performers like they kind of like wanted to make the Woodstock happen again. And like they wanted to be a part of this legendary moment. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like it just kind of felt, just reading about it kind of feels a bit uninspired and try hardish.
Yeah,
It's just like you got to let these things happen organically, and that's exactly I think why the Green Day moment is like the only thing that people talk about. Um,
yeah,
so anyways, going through this a little bit more, we have the Allman Brothers Band, Arrested Development, not the TV show. Um, Connor, Bob Dylan,
yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, Peter
Mhm.
Gabriel, um, Gil Scott Heron,
Oh yeah, nice.
pretty big.
Yep.
Uh, Paul Rogers, Santana. And that was day three, the day that Green Day also performed. Actually, I read that Green Day played just before Paul Rogers, who is I think that's the singer from Bad Company. And just the idea of that guy going on after Green Day in the mud fight makes me laugh.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's actually crazy that like there's so many A-list performers here, and I don't know if it's because we're just like in the Green Day echo chamber that we don't hear about any of these other performers, but like you would think that we'd hear about some of them by now, right?
Yeah, I guess it's just like I don't know. It's just like I don't think that Woodstock 94 left much of a impact, and I think it gets overshadowed by 69 and 99 to the point where it's like I don't know, what would you say? Oh yeah, Metallica had a good set. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
they probably did, but what's there to say if there's like nothing else about it to really like elevate it or make it compelling. I mean, I get your point because you're on the one hand you're like it's Woodstock, but I think that is sort of like the sort of uh oh, I don't know, that kind of like contradiction to it, where it's like it's because it was trying to be Woodstock that it. I think otherwise it probably it feels very flat. It feels like, what did it accomplish other than being the stepping stone to 99? At least when you like
Yeah.
zoom out and look at the larger picture of like what Woodstock is and what it means, like when we have these conversations, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, totally. Yeah, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's kind of a shame. And there's also like a this is a not so fun fact. I mean, but there's like a lot of other performers that were reached out to that they declined. Like, um, I think Nirvana was originally going to be one of the headliners, but uh, Kurt ended up committing suicide before um before that was booked and put together. So I mean, it's there's kind of a like a weird sour note too on some of that. Um, yeah, I mean, and so Green Day, they start their show like any other show. I mean, we've seen videos of Green Day playing during this era where it's like, like Billy Joe can be antagonistic to the crowd. Um, that's kind of his shtick a little bit. And I think at this show in particular, like it was just kind of like a powder keg or just like a bomb waiting to go off, um, because I mean it's it it's not like the audience hated them, but I think everyone was just kind of like really fucked up or upset with the being stuck in the mud and weather, and it just kind of Green Day and Billy Joe just they exploited that, and
Yeah.
they kind of like ended up reveling in the chaos. um so yeah, I mean the set list is pretty standard. We have Welcome to Paradise. They open up with One of My Lies, Chump, Longview, Basket Case, When I Come Around, Burnout, FOD, and then Paper Lanterns is really when things go insane.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, during Paper Lanterns, Billy Joe kind of reads the room, and it's uh, kind of starts throwing money at the crowd, and people start rushing the stage, and total anarchy happens, and Billy Joe kind of comes out there's a lot of classic Billy Joe lines. Uh, you know, um, he says, "Everybody, shut the fuck up, and we'll stop playing." And the crowd, I mean, but they don't stop. They just keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. So Connor, I'm curious to know, what do you think your instincts would be in this situation if you were on stage, if you were in Green Day's position? Because I've seen a lot of people commenting saying, "Oh, uh, they could have just stopped, and everybody would understand, but this is their true, they're showing their true rock and roll bona fides, and they are being the punks that they were that they truly are here." Do you think you would have that same instinct, or do you think you would have called it quits?
Yeah, I definitely don't think I would have that same instinct. I don't think I would be in that position ever, you know. So yeah, like on the one hand, I respect it that they lean into it, but you kind of mentioned like the antagonistic sort of shtick that they have, like their kind of their bit, their nature here. And that's one of the things that, like, definitely jumped out at me a lot because they kind of go back and forth between calling them like dirty hippies because
Yeah,
it was just fun. It was, it's kind of a time where it was just fun to make fun of hippies, and especially I think if you're a punk, there's kind of like this whole like punk hippie sort of dichotomy. And
absolutely.
hippies were just lame, naive, fucking idiots. You think that you're gonna solve whatever fucking war or whatever by singing kumbaya, you fucking moron. I think that's kind of like the idea a lot of people had. And and Green Day really kind of leaned into that. But at the flip side, what's funny is I think they also call them a bunch of rich motherfuckers. And there's sort of this
Yes.
idea of like, if you have a ticket here at Woodstock, then it's like, you kind of have the money to just to burn, and to be here at this event. That I do kind of think that they were kind of sticking their nose up at it or whatever. Not that Green Day is like, oh, like I'm above it or whatever, but I think that they felt like they were kind of doing this as like their own like PR sort of thing. And I kind of get the feeling that they were almost like a little bit resentful. We've been talking about this idea of how a lot of artists, and especially like more established A-list artists here at Woodstock, maybe there was kind of this hope that they would be part of like the prestige of like the next Woodstock. And from like Green Day's performance, I get the feeling that they they really metaphorically and literally felt like they were in the shit, there. And
Yeah.
and and I think they saw it more of as like a for I guess like the commercial enterprise that it was. Like I don't think that they had any illusions that they were going to be part of like the legacy of Woodstock, which is sort of ironic because this whole conversation is about how in a way they sort of are, like they are intertwined into that now. But I think when they were literally giving this performance, the way that they address the crowd, it's like, yeah, they have a bit where they kind of do that, but I don't know. I mean, I think there's truth to it too, in the way that they decide to lean into those things. And I think that I think that they felt like the whole thing was kind of stupid as fuck. And I think that that's also what leads them to uh they're like, well, hey, if the powder keg is here, then I'll light the match because I didn't care about it
Yeah,
in the first place.
definitely. And I mean, it's interesting too, because I mean, obviously they come from, Gilman Street, and they are, to a certain degree already exposed to like anti-establishment ideals and stuff. But does this jadedness like come from, because at this point they've already been exposed to like the music industry uh, a good bit, not to quite the extent that they will have, but um they're already like calling bullshit,
Hmm.
like I wonder how informed this reaction is from their like just how fast their rise is, and just kind of seeing how the industry works, and being already disillusioned in a way by it.
Yeah, I really think so because it's like when you really fucking think about it, it's like the album they put out before this was Kerplunk, you know,
Yeah,
and we know that they're either they're like driving around the fucking library book van, or and then they had all their shows in Europe and shit, but they had a lot of boots on the ground, hard and fast touring, and they come out with Dookie, and now they're playing Woodstock. I mean, what does that do to a person?
yeah,
Seriously,
yeah. It's a very fast rise. I mean, because at this point too, I think this is like during or just after they're like touring there's like a Lollapalooza tour that they were on. So that's like, I think that's like their first really huge big profile tour.
hmm
So yeah, this is kind of like their like crash course in rock stardom in a way. So yeah, I mean, I can't imagine dealing with that. Yeah, and then there's the anecdote that I wanted. Well, actually, first off, uh, it's a massive crowd. Obviously, they're like it's a huge festival. There's however many thousands of people there, but it's also Connor is being aired on pay-per-view
Mm.
for the entire nation to watch if they so choose. And for people who for listeners, for our Gen Z listeners who don't know what pay-per-view is, it's kind of like,
All the Gen Z kids are pissed at you because they're always like, "I know what pay-per-view is."
oh, do they say that a lot?
They
They're
all
like,
the time, yeah. Well,
oh yeah.
because millennials and Gen Xers, and anytime anyone makes a post where it's like Gen Z doesn't know what a Walkman is, then they're always like, "No, I grew up." Anyways, I'm speaking on behalf of Gen Z. I hear you
No,
guys.
my
They're gonna be
dad
pissed at
told
you,
me what
Connor.
pay-per-view. My dad told me what pay-per-view.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
when you it's when you put a piece of paper in front of the TV and you watch it that way.
Yep. Good one.
Makes sense. No, it's kind of like on demand. And if you don't know what on demand is, it's kind of like Netflix, where you choose the program to watch. No, so it's kind of like it's like a live stream, right? It's kind of like a
Oh,
Twitch live stream.
oh, I get it now. I
Yeah, there
thought
we go.
not just a piece of paper in front of the screen. I get it now.
There we go. I'm glad you're on the same page now. Um, yeah, and so you could purchase the viewing of this live as it aired. So there's a lot of stories I was reading of people who they've got memories. Their first memories of Green Day are watching the Woodstock '94 pay-per-view live. Um, and so this puts them on just like a massive national audience for the first time, I think some people were into it, some people were upset with their antics,
Hmm.
and one of the people that was upset with the antics, Connor, happens to be Billy Joe's mother.
Yeah, you don't say.
Did you know that she was watching pay-per-view with her friends? She was watching she's like, oh, this is my son's a big national debut, and this is from a Rolling Stone article where Billy Joe is talking to Rolling Stone's Chris Mundy, who we we know and love. Uh, he says he says she sent me a hate letter afterwards, talking about his mother Ollie. She said that I was disrespectful and indecent, and that if my father was alive, he would be ashamed of me. She couldn't believe that I pulled my pants down and got in a fight on stage. She even talked about my wife Adrian and how she's supposed to be my loving wife, but she's never even come over and visited. So this is a little bit personal. this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
this is a little personal. Um, but so I don't know, kind of what are your thoughts on that? Billy Joe's family and friends seeing him. I mean, maybe being exposed to his stage antics like for the very first time on this scale. Obviously, you have to imagine they have gotten used to it 40 years later.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this is
The
this is this is like a beginning of a wild ride for them.
No, in the moment, I don't blame him at all. I mean, imagine, like your son is gonna, play Woodstock, and I'm sure you're probably talking it up, you're telling people or whatever, who knows who they invited over, if
Oh, yeah.
anyone, to watch it, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Your kid is, sharing a stage with Bob Dylan, you know, not literally, but, figuratively in a way.
And for Gen Z, we're not talking about Timothy Chalamet. We're talking about the real Bob Dylan.
That's right. Yes. They get that. They understand.
I hope so.
Um, so and then you turn it on, and what do you see? They are inciting a riot. You
Yeah.
know, not at Woodstock '99 levels, but it's, yeah. This is a notable fucking altercation. You know, this is a moment where things kind of break down in a way that were not intended. And yeah, you know, I don't think many moms would be proud about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't blame Ollie whatsoever. I think, you know, I think she's come to terms with it at this point, but I mean, yeah, I think the story is that she had friends over, and probably was very embarrassed, um,
Yeah.
which yeah is totally totally
I
fair.
mean, you gotta have a good laugh about it these days, but yeah, I mean, when it happened, it's like, you know, come on.
I know. Come on, son. Um, I mean, little did she know that the pulling the pants down and talking shit to the crowd, this is literally just the beginning.
Yeah,
Um, the other big thing that I referenced earlier in the podcast, I mean, this is literally uh a physical altercation that Mr. Mike Dirnt ended up getting into on stage here. You know, this is chaos. There's you know, people throwing mud on the stage, Billy Joe throwing mud into the crowd. No, you know, it's hard to even it's just like raining mud. It's you know, I'm sure everyone that's listening has watched has watched the videos. It's insanity, and in this insanity, Connor, there's people jumping on stage, running and touching the band, and so security doesn't know their fucking dick from their elbow, you know. Uh, and so in this chaos, um, security guard tackled Mr. Mike Dirnt, thinking that they were a psychotic fan.
yeah.
And Connor, Mike ended up getting his front teeth smashed out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Which is obviously where pulling teeth comes from. The
So
song off of Dookie.
we finally uncovered the meaning and the origin of pulling teeth. It doesn't, you know, it's funny because like that song came out like a few months before this event happened.
Yeah, yeah. It's a little
But
timey wimey.
sometimes time works that yeah, time works in mysterious ways.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't realize what a song's about until a few months after it's released, you know. Uh that's the truth. Um, and so yeah. I mean, I think this is another incident. I mean, it's just like another thing that makes this performance live on in infamy. And you know, ever since then, Mike, every chance he gets, he will tell this story. And so this is one that we have heard time and time again. Um, but Connor, you know, what do you think? Do you think Mike was upset, or do you think he was like, "Oh fuck yeah, this is gonna look so cool"? You know, watching this back on.
Kind of dumbass
Uh,
question is that? Yeah, I think he was pissed. He got his teeth fucking knocked out.
I don't know. I think he might have been like, "Oh, this is gonna look so good on like the rewind." You know, I hope my mom taped this.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure there's a bit of both. I mean, yeah, he's Mike is kind of he's definitely got a few screws loose. So you know, I'm sure there's a sick, twisted part of him that that did enjoy it. But it's like, come on, you know, it's gotta hurt like fucking hell, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and you know, we do know that that Mike is, you know, he's sensitive and he might even write a song about it. So, but I mean that song never came to pass. All
so
right, Connor.
that's not haha you're dead when the security guard finally kicked the bucket.
Oh well, yeah, I mean, I think that is actually. I think, and I mean, it's not confirmed how that security guard died either. So,
Yeah, it was under mysterious circumstances.
yeah, I think it's a cold case at this point, but they investigated that death quite a bit. I'm not pointing any fingers, but
The only thing they know for sure is that there was a muddy footprint found at the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
and
It's the same.
and two teeth
Yeah,
removed
two
from
teeth
the
in the mud.
corpse.
And they did trace that mud back to Woodstock '94. They're like, how did somebody keep the mud this intact and
Yeah,
this pure
but
for all these years?
yeah.
Um, anyways, Connor, I did want to turn to our favorite place, well, the seedy underbelly of the internet, and get some people's hot takes and reactions to Woodstock '94.
Yeah, I'd love to hear him. Just after, I just wanted to mention too.
Yeah, please.
I had been saying I've been listening to the Dookie 30th anniversary edition. It's really cool that it includes the audio from that set, and it it has some of the chaos that ensues after Paper Lanterns. So that that's pretty cool just to have as part of the package, and just as something to listen to, because for as yeah, as like noteworthy as this is in terms of like Green Day's concert history and at this point in their career, I never really like gone back to it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like kicking back and listening to it, or watching videos. And so like as I've been listening through the 30th anniversary collection, and listening through the performance, um, it's just kind of a interesting, like an interesting look at it in a way that I guess what I'm trying to say is like listening to the CD itself kind of like makes you consider it as the set that it was,
Yeah.
versus just the sort of like fucked up sort of story that it became. And it's interesting to kind of sit with that too. I guess like as a fan and as a listener, like that this is just something you can kind of throw on now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing I did want to reference or to bring up was I think probably a decade ago now. They released the Woodstock '94 performance by itself for Record Store Day, and Billy Joe he did the cover himself, which pretty much he just put duct tape over the Dookie cover and like scribbled on it, um, which is 100% where he got the idea for the foam album cover.
yeah, no,
You know,
totally, yeah.
like that's totally the origin of that. Where he's, oh, this is a cool little thing I can do. I can you know graffiti
I
over a famous album cover
Right,
and
I'll fuck up my own iconography.
exactly, yeah, yeah, which I happen to be a big fan of. But yeah, so I think it's cool that you can hear it and it sounds great too. Like it's it's legitimately impressive, Connor, how great the performance is, despite just them being slung with mud the entire time. Like
Hmm.
it's still a powerhouse of a performance. So yeah, so let's see. So for we'll start here on Reddit for a little bit. Trash C 1485 says, I work with the woman who was there. She said the cranberries were pissed at them. LOL.
Man, that's gotta not feel good. You walk off your set, you're riding high, and then you turn around and the cranberries are pissed at you.
I
That
know.
can't feel good.
Yeah, I mean, and then Pinhead Goo replies and says, LOL, why? Because they said shit. Then they had to sing "You Gotta Let It Linger." LMAO. Oh, really?
Wow, yeah, they really shut him up.
Yeah, yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Um, we have MC squared 03. Yeah, I this person I think is confusing the pulling teeth story with the Woodstock story, but
Right.
but they say Mike Dirnt hurt his elbow rocking out. I hurt my elbow clocking out of work. We are cut from the same cloth.
Yeah. Um, two kindred spirits, you know,
Yeah.
separated only by time and mud.
I hurt my elbow clocking out of work. How does that happen? I don't know.
You don't know what situation they have going on. It's
Maybe the time clock is up a little bit too high, and
yeah, yeah.
uh, and then and then Ronick 99 replies, "Rock out with your clock out."
Oh, good one. I
There you
actually
go.
I like that response. That's funny.
Chester 555 says those Woodstock redos were terrible, just corporate crap, just like the mud.
Yeah, no, that's what they don't actually tell you is that they flew in the mud, you know.
They did it, and they charged $25 per handful of mud.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
couldn't throw you couldn't throw mud unless you paid the mud tax.
that's right. Yeah, the
Uh,
mudslinging fee.
this is there's a famous picture of the three band members all muddy. Billy Joe has a beer in his hands. You know what I'm talking about,
Yes,
right?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's iconic. So this is a response to that picture. California Cat says, "Looks like green daycare because of how
Green
young they look.
daycare. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're like the Rugrats or something.
Right. Yeah. 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 And they're covered in shit.
They
So,
are, yeah. Okay, so this is an interesting comment. This is from Bolin Rocks. Bolin says, "Did you know Billy Joe's blue Strat is actually a Fernandez that originally belonged to Carlos Santana?"
well, Connor, what Green Day fan does not know that? I mean, obviously, Blue originally comes from Carlos Santana. Um, has nothing to do with his mom, as you know. Billy hasn't talked about that ever about how he's ever gotten
No.
the guitar. I'm pretty sure it was just Carlos Santana. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Carlos Santana gifted Billy Joe a Fernandez, but he told him, he said, "Tell everyone this is a Stratocaster.
Yeah.
Make sure you put your initials on it. Don't, you can make up a nice story, says your mom got it for you." I don't know what the origin of this is. The first time I've ever seen this idea.
Yeah, I sometimes people just say shit, you know? It's like and we talk about this. It's like, do they believe it or are they just stirring up trouble? This one's so outlandish to me. It's like, how could you believe it? You would have to be so far away from knowing what you're talking about
Yeah,
that it's like, why would you be commenting on a Green Day message board? You know what I'm saying? So it leads me to believe that they're just it's bait. I think it's just bait. Otherwise, what else could it be? They're just that stupid? No way.
yeah.
It's gotta be bait. Come on.
I mean, it's hard to decipher which one of those options is likelier, but now we have a this deleted account says that their grandpa, dad, and uncle worked as security at Woodstock '94, so they did an AMA. Um, Ratitude sympathizer 7, which
Yeah,
is
your favorite Weezer album. There you go.
a great Weezer great Weezer record. The question we all want to know: who does he think won the mud fight? The answer, he said Green Day.
Yeah, for sure.
When asked what do they think of the mud fight, uh, the deleted account says, "My dad said it was stressful as fuck because he didn't sleep for like 2 days, but looking back at it, it was awesome." Then he says, "Scratch that. He was being paid $20 an hour, and he was allowed to work for as many hours as he stayed up. He was covered in mud that also had shit in it. He stayed up for a week straight."
What? I don't know. Is he like implying that he stayed up for as long as he wanted just so he could keep getting paid? Like what the fuck is he talking What the
I
fuck
think
is he
so.
talking
Yeah,
about?
I think so. Well, I think it's like, I think the idea is he stayed up for the because the concert was like 4 days, so it was like 4 days straight of music, um, plus like the cleanup. I think so. I think maybe he stayed up for a week straight and got paid for an entire like I don't know. But he expands. He says, from what my dad told me, it was a whole lot messier. Like they had to get a lot of shots after the event to make sure they didn't get any diseases.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty gross.
Yeah, I mean it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Um,
But it is funny that of course, Green Day's playing Dookie as this is
I
like
know,
happening, it's like
I know.
there is something to it. And listening through, like Billy kind of has this bit that he repeats too elsewhere, but when they're talking about the mud, and Mike makes a Dookie joke and Billy's like, it's caca, poo poo,
Yeah,
shit, shit, it's shit, it's like um that part
classic.
is really stupid. You gotta love it.
Yeah, I mean that's. I mean it really feels like fate or something or destiny that Green Day put out an album called Dookie, and then they have this event where they're throwing brown stuff all around, and it's chaos.
Right, and that in a lot of ways, like you said, like this is a lot of people's first image of them. It's like how do those
Yeah,
two things coincide? How
yeah, absolutely.
they one establishes the other.
Again, it's a publicist's dream. It really is.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we're jumping to YouTube. Killer Whale 8726 says, "Yeah, they sounded good, but the guitar tone was a bit muddy." It was a pretty good
That's
take.
a good one. I
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Lester 3917 says, "This has got to be the best punk rock show ever. I mean, can you get more punk than this?"
I don't know, Connor. Can you? Can you get more punk than this?
Well, Lefty Lucy 2263 replies, they say, any punk band that came before them, this is diluted punk at best.
Yeah. No, I'm not
Thanks.
surprised to see that comment.
Thanks, Lefty Lucy. Uh, this okay. I this is up there for me. This is a comment that really resonated with me. This is from Stop Faking from 1 year ago. They say, "Life used to be fun. This helps you remember."
This,
Like watching Woodstock '94 helps you remember that life used to be fun.
yeah. Um, huh. I don't, what's weird is like my first thought is that this is coming from a commenter who probably wasn't born then.
Oh yeah, I mean, probably not. They have a Family Guy avatar.
I don't know where that puts them. That they could be anywhere from 14 to 40. I have no
True.
clue.
Next up we have Smokey Joe, the man, Ed, Amy, the myth, the legend. All right.
Great.
Uh, they say I'd probably have creamed my jeans if I was at this concert. I'd have been -5 years old, but it would have still been amazing.
Wow. I don't think I would want to have been there, Even as like a Green Day fan, like sometimes people really do think of like, "Oh man, if only I could have been at that show." But I don't think I would have like chosen to be there. Like it I don't know. To me, it just it doesn't sound like I have no FOMO when it comes to this.
Yeah,
I am fine with having heard about it as part of the Green Day narrative. I don't think I would have wanted to have been there.
think it would have stressed you out too much,
Yeah, I would have been up for a week straight for sure,
and not getting paid.
and not yeah, which is the worst kind of
Yeah,
staying awake. So
absolutely. Jazz Galaxy says Durnt has looked like he's 40 since he was 20.
hmm. And Billy's looked like he's 20 even when he's 40. wait,
What?
wait a
That guy
minute.
must have found the fountain of youth somewhere. Give me your secret.
Wait a minute. Mike doesn't look like he's 40. I don't know what the fuck this guy's
No,
talking about.
I don't think that's true. At least for the Woodstock performance, I think he still looks pretty young. Um,
Connor, would you have wanted to be at this show? Would you, if you could like
that's
go to a Green Day show or whatever throughout time? Would you go to Woodstock?
if I could choose any Green Day show in the past, it would not be Woodstock.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think it would have. I think I would like to go to like a small club or something
yeah.
in the '90s and see them. Um, it would be cool just to say that I was at this show, but like I don't think I would fare well being covered in mud. I don't think I would have done well.
Hmm.
What I would have really enjoyed though is watching it on pay-per-view.
Yes, yeah.
That would have been so much fun if I had that experience.
Good stuff.
Um, got a couple more here. We have Stringfellow Hawk 4843. They say, I wonder why their drummer didn't get as much love as Travis Barker. This dude is crushing it.
Hmm. Yeah. Why is that, Connor? Why has Trey not gotten the same acknowledgement and love as Travis Barker? Is it because he can't play upside down?
Or is it because he's never dated a Kardashian?
Yeah, both questions to ponder.
Yeah,
Something
something
to
to
think
think
about.
about.
Something. There you go. There you go.
Camo 65 says, we all love the song. We all love the songs. Welcome to Paradise. When I come around, and one of my lie. This joke is because Billy he never finishes like the end of the title like when he's singing in this
Yeah,
he's it's like welcome to paradise and then he just
yeah. Can you just want a mother? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah
And
that's
I,
that's a very popular thing he did in well it wasn't popular but that's a very prevalent thing he did in the 90s.
yeah, I get it.
Okay, and then last but not least, we have a social media post from the man himself, Mr. Billy Joe Armstrong. This is from a few years ago. I mean, it might have a couple years ago, I think, uh, or maybe just last year. But anyways, he says, "I've been thinking about Woodstock '94 and how fun it was for so many people. '99, we all know was catastrophic, but I do think the festival can come back." But do it on a professional and thoughtful way. Instead of ego and greedy driven 300,000 people, why not do it for 30,000 or even 60,000 capacity on a great night? No, sorry, on a great site, but spelled SIGHT. Not a military industrial complex. Proper facilities and security. Make it more like Lollapalooza or Outside Lands. Get rid of the boomer mentality and give it to the kids. Anyway, that's my thought. What do you think?
Huh. Yeah, give it to the kids.
Give it to the kids.
Well, let's see Gen Z run Woodstock. We've come full circle. Let's see it happen.
Yeah, I think it should be. Yeah, I think they should run it, operate it, and it could maybe all Gen Z performers. Yeah.
Yes, dude, call it Woodstock with
Oh,
a S
Woodstock.
as
Yeah,
a
with the Z.
Z.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Woodstock. Yeah.
Instead of like the mud fight, Connor, what kind of fight would it be with Gen Z? It would be like throwing cell phones, TikTok.
Um, yeah, throwing TikTok. I don't. Oh
um,
man, I
so
wish I knew.
I just think this post is pretty. I don't know. It's like cute and kind of comes off as naive to me. Like
Oh, totally.
it's I don't know. It's like funny. Um, I do think that there is a way to bring it back and do something great, but like I don't know if I would say Lollapalooza is like a good model to go at. Like for Woodstock, if you want it to be free of corporate interests and uh the I mean, especially after the last few years where we have like Fire Festival and these
Yeah.
terrible events like what was that, like Astro World, where people are trampled on and stuff like
Yeah.
uh I don't know. I think it is possible, but like it would have to be uh, something totally different.
Yeah, well, exactly, right. It's like you can't separate commercial interest from Woodstock because of what Woodstock is and
Yeah.
was. And it's kind of like that idea in Left Hand of Darkness where, like, if you're opposed to something, then you're reinforcing it, you know?
Yes.
And I think that in order to recreate Woodstock, if you were going to in any fashion, it would have to be done with like the intent to not recreate Woodstock to begin with. It would have to be
Yeah.
its own thing.
Totally. Yeah. 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 I think you're right. I think maybe it would actually be, instead of Woodstock, it would be Woods Talk, like WOODZTOK.
Oh yeah, yeah. That right. Which would be the perfect the perfect storm.
The
That
perfect
is
storm for Gen Z.
Gen Z
Yeah.
TikTok. Woodstock right there. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, any ambitious Gen Z pioneers, hippies, to take, you can take the name for free.
Yeah.
You don't even have to credit me. You don't.
Although
Anyways,
we are kind of trying to expand our business portfolio. 'Cause I mean, like
that's
now
actually a great point. I take
now that
that
we're
back.
investors,
That's true.
Connor.
That's
Um,
true. We are trying to kind of scale up the corporate ladder. We're
yes,
trying to make a name for ourselves in the business
that's
world.
right.
So, I actually, I take that back. Please give us all the credit and most of the money you make.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And as long as we're making all these jokes and shit, instead of the who sell out, it's the dudes sell out. You
the
know?
dudes sell out, and
Yeah. I think we've
Connor,
made that joke before, but
we're gonna be making $20 an hour off this new Woodstock festival,
yes, and
and
I am not going to sleep.
we're gonna stay up anyways and watch it all
Yeah.
on pay-per-view. Uh, and again, for folks at home, for the Gen Zers out there, that's kind of like TikTok Live. So, uh, okay. Anyways, Connor, any final thoughts on Woodstock? What the first big momentous Green Day moment on a national stage.
Yeah, I just think it's funny going through the comments, and it's like I think that Woodstock itself is also, it's like you can't get away from the is Green Day punk or not conversation, but I think like their Woodstock performance and like the perspectives on it, because it's like some people see it as anarchy and some people see it as like, uh performative, shallow,
Yeah,
you know completely toothless rebellion bullshit. uh and it's like, on I sort of get the two camps, and the ways in which it feels like the Woodstock performance almost kind of embodies or distills that larger conversation into like this moment, like depending on who you're talking to, maybe even one of the last moments where you could really be asking, like, is Green Day still punk? Because of course, like the Dookie explosion is
yeah,
really where this conversation comes from, anyways. But all I'm trying to say here is I just like the question that, like, whenever it comes up, I think like applying it here to sort of like by taking the moment and like trying to put it into like the one or the other binary, I think is, very reductive and kind of misses the point, because I think I literally think that there are aspects about this that are dumb as fuck, and
yeah,
like
sure.
literally just like on the face of it, fucking stupid. But then, I think some of it, it's like, yeah, I don't know, I don't even know if I'd be like, oh, I think it's cool, but I do think that it's a moment that like has value, and like and that like what they did there's a reason why this moment is talked about, and why it creates conversation. And I guess all I'm trying to land on here is like, hey, is it punk or not? I think you're asking the wrong question. And I think sometimes you have to let moments be, because sometimes one of the least punk things you could do is ask, is this punk? It's
Oh
kind
yeah,
of a very unpunk question, if you
absolutely.
ask me. So,
Yeah, I mean, it often is the wrong question to ask. Um, I think that was well said, Connor. I agree with you. I think it's I'm happy to have it as a big moment in Green Day's history. I'm happy to let the myth live on, to let this kind of larger than life moment exist. It's always been just very fun to me as a story. Um, and I don't know. I enjoy the band talking about it, talking, reminiscing about it. Maybe even more than watching the actual events. And so yeah, I'm happy it exists. Folks listening, if you have any thoughts on Woodstock '94, if you were there, uh, or if your parents were there, if your grandparents were there, please, if your great grandparents were there,
yeah, right.
please let us know. We would love to hear from you. Or if you just have if you want to talk about it, you can email us at greendudespod@gmail.com. You can follow us on social media. We are on both Twitter and Instagram at Green Dudes Pod. Um, Next week we're doing more Dookie celebration, so get ready for that. Um, Connor, any final thoughts?
No, I've said all I care to say today.
All right. Well, folks, until next time, as always, stay
Stay
punk.
punk.
All right. And this is the little extra bit at the end that the
Yeah,
video watchers get.
what's funny is like we always say like stay. It's hard to change because we always say the same thing. But I was thinking of like, what if I said stay unpunk? But
Oh,
it's like, how do I?
well, now that we're in the major label era, maybe we should pivot to that. Or we could say uh sell out.
Yeah,
You know, I
I
don't know.
don't know. We'll
All right.
workshop it.